Hello, in this tutorial I will show you how to make curved polygons like you see in this image. Sometimes we need to follow specific designs and we need to be very accurate. We will not go over the area below here, we'll work only on the curved frame. We'll use lines like these to help us with the creation of a path. We'll recreate one of these lines. Let me move it out of the way, the one I just made. So we have in mind certain curve, and we're going to start with a line. Make sure that you check on corner and smooth for the creation method. And about this long, and then for the curve here, click halfway and drag and click again. Make the line again, go halfway on this arc, click, drag to the end, same way here, click in the middle and drag to the end, and you're done. So let's click these two, enable and render, so we can see it better. So this is the path we want to use to extrude our polygon. So let's make a small box from standard primitives and place it next to the curve we just made it, just like this. Now, sometimes you may have to adjust the center of the box or the pivot line or something in some cases. If you need that, you can go to hierarchy here, click on affect pivot only, and then move it up or down if it's necessary. You'll find that later. So for now, let's place this over here, very close to the starting point. And now go to the perspective view to select a polygon face. Let me move this a little bit over here so we can see what we're doing. Now in edit mode, select a face, this face here, and then go to extrude. We're going to go extrude along spline. We use this method now, extrude along spline. You click on the small box here, and in the floating menu, click pick spline, and then click on the curve we made. And there we have it. This is what you get. And you can make some adjustments here to make the curved polygon smoother. You can change the number of segments right here. So when you do this method, sometimes things don't work the way you like in this place here, this corner that didn't quite make it right. Here also it's something funny happens here. So I use another method. Let's start from scratch. On the front view, we will create some guides. Make a rectangle about 3 inches wide. The height is not important, but we will use the side for reference. Now we can select the arc, click the starting point, then drag to the next point and click, and move the cursor to create a curve this way. To create a smooth transition from the line to the arc, we need to make sure that the angle of the arc is parallel to the one of the rectangle. So we'll change the value of the from here to 270. 270 is the equivalent of 90 degrees. It's still straight, but it's going downward, so that's why we can use 270. Then we move this and we put it very close so that the two vertices here coincide. These vertices have to be together. So get a closer look and then move it to that spot. You see these two numbers. Let's change this to 300 just for the sake. So we have a line and a curve. We're going to continue with a straight line up here now. We could use a line, but see, when you use the line, visually doesn't help you very much because there's no 90 degrees to see here. It works, but I prefer the rectangle. So let's draw one here about this size. Again, the height is not important, but the width is what I'm concerned with. So we'll notice that the width of this rectangle is has a dimension we need. And like now, the angle of this arc is showing that's 270 to 300. If you subtract the two numbers, you get 30. And so now we have to move this box by 30 degrees. Click here, right click here, and you can move this around. You can see the value down here is a negative value, because we could have, if we had a perfect square, it wouldn't matter. We go positive and we'll get 30 degrees. But since this is a rectangle, we have to see if it's not positive, it's negative. And you can see that that's what we want, because the rectangle is what we need, and you know, the width of it. So again, let's look at very close to these 2 points and just make sure you put them together. All right. Now we're going to make an arc here, a large arc. Select arc. Start on this end here. Drag. Well, we could use a snap toggle to find this corner, but I'm not going to do that now. So let's just start very close to that spot here. Drag the other end. And once you click again, you'll see that the arc shows the direction and the angle and the curve pretty much where you want it. And we're going to correct this angle to match this one again. So go into the from parameter of this, and let's make it 90 so we know where we're starting from, and we're going 2. So the other one is the 2, from 90 to something. We need to know the angle. Either we could use this arc here, the values are here, or the one in this rectangle, which was 30 or negative 30. So 30 is the angle we need for this side. So we can get that by adding 30 to 90, because we go from 90 to, so use the calculator here. You know, you're going to be using these precise numbers like decimal points and all that, so you can do it this way. So it gives you 120. Plug the number here, and we have that matching the same angle. Now get real close again, and then move it so that they both coincide. So the path is a smooth, continuous path this way. I'm going to speed up the process a little, and we're going to make one more arc here. Now we could use an arc adjacent to this one, which starts at 90, but maybe we'll change. Let's change this angle. What if this angle was some strange number? Not necessarily 90, so let's make it 70. Type 70 here. And so that we're going to be able to work matching the next arc's angle to 70. Again, we start at some point here, drag your line, move the cursor, and get the curve you're looking for. So now we're going to change the from to. As you can see here, I believe it was 70, one of the angles here. So put it together again, real close, and we'll be done with this part. So we finalize the arc. Okay, we finished our guidelines, our guides. Now we can extrude the polygon. Let's start by drawing a box. Small box around here. This is not a square or a rectangle, this is a real box. Let's go to perspective view and convert this to editable poly, and select edges. We'll select the edges in the center here. Click on connect and add one segment. Say OK. We are going to use a reference point for our hinge. We'll use the center of this arc for reference. To do that, we need to get a polygon from the object itself. So we'll make a copy of these two. Since it has a center line, we'll use that. Shift drag, and then now we can type in here the x and zeta values, which are the same from the center of the arc. That will place this exactly at the same place where the arc center is. Select these two polygons back and extrude it to about 3 inches. And that is the width of the first rectangle. All right. Next, we will use Hinge from Edge method to extrude the polygons along the arc's path. Pick on Hinge and select the hinge edge, which is the center line of this polygon here. Enter the value of the angle here. Make some adjustments to make the curve smoother now, and we're done. Now extrude the selected polygons to the distance specified by the rectangle reference here. If I recall, that was 11 and 8/16, I think. And accept OK. Now we're going to extrude along the next arc's path. We need to put a reference hinge for this other arc. By the way, the hinge has to come from the polygon itself. So we can borrow this one for now. Let me move this down here for now, and then we're going to copy the location of, or the parameters of the arc center, and we're going to paste it on the parameters of this polygons. So copy x, enter, copy zeta value, and same way we'll paste on this one here. We only need the x and the zeta or z values. Now let me make another one for this other arc using the same process. You can copy the parameters from the arc and paste it on the other one so it aligns with its center. So now let's get back to the extrusion so we can finalize. Extrude, selecting the hinge, which is the center line of this here. And then we know the aperture of the pi, or the angle, and you can calculate the value. I believe it was 50 if we take the two numbers and subtract. We'll continue doing the same thing for the other one. After you make some adjustments, you can go back later if you don't make these adjustments here, like how smooth you want your arc. Let's repeat this for this smaller arc, picking the hinge again from here. That's right. Pick hinge and select that one. enter your value of this angle here, which I think it was 40. Adjust your smoothness, and we're done. We have finished the extrusion. Now you can continue with modifications as usual. The guidelines we used are usually called in the field working drawings. You can actually use those parameters to build the real things, whether they are metal or wood or plastic. You can continue modifying, like I said, this further after you've done this extrusion, and it works very well. A little bit of chamfer here, like 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to change the view to shade it, and you can see that it works very well. It all depends how smooth you want it. Well, you can also do or build a more complicated polygons with this method. And well, I hope you like the tutorial, and you can use it to actually build something. Thank you very much for watching.